Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is Scarcasm Live.
What's up, guys?
Chase is in the building.
I am.
And we're just gonna get together and talk about our weeks. We don't have a guest today.
We've had a guest for a while.
Well, technically, we had a guest last week. Well,
not last week.
Was that last week or was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Like, shit is like really fucked up right now. Yeah. When we recorded last, did I have a job? I remember talking about it on Facetious, but I don't remember talking about it here.
Yeah, that's been a kind of a little bit of a problem. Like, because I'll remember you talking about stuff, but then I don't know if it was during a game night or if I listened to it on Facetious. But I think you had a job last time we talked because you had to get to bed early or whatnot. But that might have been game night too.
Yeah, I think it might have been game night. I have a job. I work for a moving company now, and I work in the office of the moving company. I answer the phones. I take quotes. I do quotes and stuff over the phone, and just office work type stuff. Last week, I worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, because on Wednesday I took a day trip to Baltimore.
Nice.
And I went to go see my baby for her birthday, because her birthday's on the 28th. And that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Based off of the show that her and I did, I got her a bunch of like Pokemon shit.
Right.
And then, I went and got her from school, and we pretty much spent the rest of the afternoon and a little bit into the evening at Dave & Buster's.
I've never been to a Dave & Buster's.
It's cool. See, here's the thing. It's cool. They got the arcade and racing games and all kinds of shit, but they don't really have the kind of arcade games you really want to play. Like, they ain't got no Street Fighter or no shit like that. That's what I'm like, yeah, y'all got a Street Fighter or something. They did have this one kind of fighting game. It's kind of like, it was kind of like a mobile game.
Right.
It was a Injustice game, and it's kind of a mobile game because you don't have full control over your characters. Like, you just have like, a light hit, a strong hit, a block, and a special attack that charges up. Right. And you just press those 4 buttons. And then when you're finished, you get a card of some of the characters. So, I think I can't remember the cards that we had. I know it was like a Solomon Grundy card and another card. And I gave them both to my daughter. Because, I wasn't going to use them, and I probably wouldn't be going back to Dave & Buster's without her. There is one, not too far away from here. Actually, the other job that I had lined up, the Dave & Buster's is near there. Mm-hmm. So, at some point, like during the summer, or if she comes for like a few days, I might try to do the Dave & Buster's thing again. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. We took a little detour and went to GameStop. I bought her a Pokemon game for her to get started with the Pokemon. I bought her like Pokemon cards. I spent like $55 on fucking Pokemon cards. Well, I bought her 2 starter packs, and then I bought her a 10 with some extra packs. Well, they were starter packs, but they were $20. They were starter packs, and then they had like booster packs, a couple of booster packs in it, another card with a better version of the main character on the box, and then a large version of that card. They had like a foil card. I bought her a Pikachu set and a Mewtwo set. Mm-hmm. I don't know much about Pokemon, but I know who those characters are.
Right.
And then it was like a 10, and it had some other stuff in there. It had like some pencils, a notepad, it had some more booster packs, and it had a little booklet where it said that you could store your favorite cards in it, but I didn't realize it had like, that booklet was like really fucking small. Like, it was super fucking small. So, yeah, that. So eventually I'm going to have to get her a better book for it.
Right.
And my nephew is like super into Pokemon, has been for a long time, and he's a pretty good artist because he could draw all of those characters and all of that stuff. He's really fucking dope at that. But he has a book, and I was like, well, where'd you get that book from? And he said, I just got it from Walmart. I didn't see it when I was in Walmart, so I'll try to find a book for her to put her cards in.
Is this kind of like I like to call it sometimes the kid lottery, or not the kid lottery, but the kid, what's the place you go and play cards and you play craps and stuff? What is that called?
Casino?
Casino. There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same.
I meant like for you, like you want to do things for your kid, but it's kind of a chance if they're actually going to stick with it. But you don't want to be like, I'm not going to get this because they might not stick with it. You know what I mean? So
here's the thing.
Yeah.
As she said in the show, there's somebody there who plays with the cards. And that's the reason why she wanted to play in the first place. Mm-hmm. Well, there also some sort of registration codes in those boxes to play an online version of the card game.
Uh-huh.
So even if she doesn't stick with it on like a person-to-person level, she can definitely use her cards online, and she would be more likely to do the online thing more than playing, with everyone else.
Right. But I mean, if she does get in some groups that were actually good kids and stuff that played, there is something pretty social about,
But it's scary as a parent of a now 10-year-old, because let's just look at this from a perspective of someone who understands how this works, doesn't necessarily understand what it is, but understands how this shit works. So like, okay, she gets really into Pokemon, and then when she gets older, she's gonna really age out of Pokemon and then want Magic the Gathering cards, and now I gotta buy Magic the Gathering cards.
Right. And then she'll get into Warhammer, and then
I seriously doubt the Warhammer. I seriously doubt that for her. I don't think Warhammer is going to be what's hot in these streets. But if she actually makes it to Magic the Gathering, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to buy her the fucking video game. Like I'm like,
well, at least with Magic, you can to really of course, to really play competitively, you're going to have to spend a lot of money and build your own decks and stuff. But if you just want to play with some people, you can just buy a deck that plays, and it already has its own thing.
That's what I did for her. It's the starter packs that I bought her are it's a full deck that she can use to play. And then, and I bought her 2 of those with booster packs there, and then she got more booster packs in the tin. So now she can mix and match and do what she needs to there.
Right.
So hopefully that all works out. And also hopefully she'll share with her sister. She has a stepsister. Hopefully she shares with the stepsister. So that she, if they get into it together, that might actually become a thing,
Yeah. Oh, while we're on card games, Mike J, hit me up about the Magic the Gathering video game on the Xbox.
Uh-huh.
And he said it's free, and he has made really good decks and not paid a dime. And I was like, well, maybe we can actually get Scar in on this since it's free, and something that we can actually play with Mike J.
I'm going to say
free Scar with Mike J.
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know. Let's just say that. I'm gonna say I don't know. It's one of those things to where it's I'm like, all right, fine. It's the reason why I bought the game in the first place. Years ago, I bought the game. I bought one of those Magic games years ago, and then never really did anything with it.
Uh-huh.
I played maybe twice with some friends, because I bought it because at the time I was still married, and my ex-wife and Pooh Bear went up north, and I was at home because I didn't have the time to go. I didn't have the vacation time to go. So they went. I was sitting at home, and then a friend said, "Hey, we're playing this game. You want to play? It's on sale right now." So I bought it on sale. I played it with them maybe twice, and then I never touched that thing again.
Right.
And that was one of the games on 360, Duels of the Planeswalkers or some shit like that.
Right. But yeah, it's an idea, free, something to play with.
I mean, it's cool that it's free.
Yeah.
But that's probably I don't know. If that's like the thing about it is like I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and they were just kind of telling me every step of the way. Like, okay, so now you do this, so now you do that, now you do this, and I'm like, well, I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. I'm just doing what y'all telling me. I'm not learning how to play the game.
Right. If it's anything like the kind of like the poker games and stuff, like you can play poker on like the Xbox and not really know how to play poker, but it's going to tell you.
I know how to play poker. When the poker game, the free one came out on Xbox, I knew how to play because I used to watch that shit on ESPN. So I have a pretty good idea how to play.
Yeah, but it would say like if you had a flush or whatever, it would say, "Oh, you got a flush." You don't really have to know exactly what a flush is. You just know that. Well, at least that the game on Steam, like what was it, the one with like GLaDOS and
I know what you're talking about. It's the one that was made by
Telltale.
Telltale, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Poker night at the blah blah blah.
Yeah, because that's kind of how that was. It was really fun, and I still don't really know how to play poker that well, but I could play that because I really didn't have to know because it just kind of told me what I had.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't try it, but I would never guarantee that I would stick with it.
Right.
Because most likely I wouldn't.
This is kind of how the Killing Floor talk happened back last year.
That's true, and that's pretty much the only game that I play right now. I played a little bit of RimWorld. I mean, we can talk about video games because we did. I wasn't finished talking about life stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
I went to a birthday party today. I was in Hampton. I drove to Hampton with my girlfriend. Her grandchild had a 4th birthday today.
Cool.
It was cool, and I took a detour while they were setting up everything, and I went to see my sister, and hung out with them for a little bit. It was cool, but like spending time with like my sister and it was like way too short. But like, yeah, man, it kind of made me miss home a little bit. Like I don't miss home very often. Mm-hmm. But like, when I was there and, you kind of just really you drive around and you see all of these places, where you have all of these memories and shit. And you're just like, I think I kind of miss this place. But like on a normal circumstance, I don't miss it very much, but it did kind of happen.
Nice. Well, maybe you're actually, it's been a while since you've been in Richmond and maybe Richmond is feeling more like home now than it did before.
Because I definitely, when I got let go from my last job, I definitely did not want to leave Richmond.
Right.
So I guess on some level, it does feel more like home.
Cool.
So, but yeah, I went. So that was cool. I hung up with my girl's family, and everything went kind of cool. Like, her grandchild Haley, like she's super into like monster trucks and shit like that. She like really loves like cars and trucks because her dad is into cars. And they went to see monster trucks recently, and she's been all about monster trucks since then. So she's all about monster trucks and My Little Pony. Like those are her things.
Those are like, it's like My Little Pony and then like giant trucks and big tires. It's like,
yeah, but she's way more into monster trucks than she is to My Little Pony at this point. From what I saw today.
Well, girls aren't really into My Little Pony nowadays. Now it's dudes.
Yeah, so. Bronies.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I've never watched My Little Pony. Like maybe I might be cool with it, but like I don't know.
Yeah, because I watched an episode because I thought, well, there's a new. Sometimes when they bring back shit, they get good writers and it actually is something cool. So I thought it might have been something like
Voltron.
Yeah, like I thought it was going to be something like Adventure Time, but it still was very childish, and I was like, why why are people like really into this? I know like the art style is, it's cool and all, but the actual show is still very like little girlish. I thought it'd be more like Adventure Time or something. Like it's or something. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So do you have anything you want to add, life stuff, before we start talking about our shit?
I mean, we're really digging the new place. I think we're saying that this is the last place for like the rest of our life. We're just tired of moving. Pretty much ever since I left home from my parents' house, we've lived in a new place like the next year. Like but that's kind of scary in the fact there's a part of me that's like, I'm going to live here for forever, if I bought a place, because I've been moving so much to where it's like I almost feel nomadic, you know what I mean? So, but it's kind of cool that we can stay someplace. I mean, the Four Oaks place, we were there for like 4 years. The place in Waynesville, we were there for like probably about the same time. But every other place we would move the next year, pretty much. So, and it's all been like different jobs and different things, and something would come up, just like we were going to move to Kentucky, just different like things that would come up and then not work out, and then we would move, and
Yeah, and you said that place, you do have the option to buy, right?
Right, yeah. That's the plan, is he's just not wanting to sell it right now because he's putting, just like at the other place, he's wanting to put a development behind it. But he's not going to like get rid of this place, you know what I mean? But he doesn't know what he wants to do quite yet, because he might have to like come into because we have kind of a wraparound driveway, but he might have to come into that some and have to move like the septic tank or something, if he did that. But he's trying to buy this other place, so he doesn't have to do that. So he wouldn't want us to buy it and then have to do that stuff, because then he'd have to go through us.
Okay.
So yeah, but we got everything set up and everything. I think I talked about it kind of on last time, but got a new computer and all that. And I got a screen from Walmart actually, because I was just looking at them. I was like, wow, this screen's actually, or this monitor's, it was under 200. It was like 198, and it's like a 1080p 60 hertz, like curved deal. And I was like, okay, and it looks good, and I didn't really need anything over 60 hertz because, my graphics card is like 1080, 60 is pretty much what I can do. And so yeah, it's working out pretty good.
Word up.
Okay.
So we well, like I say, I play a little bit of RimWorld, not enough to really talk about, but I have played a decent amount of Killing Floor, and we played some Killing Floor together on PC.
Right, and that was really fun. And the next night, I was like, man, I want to play more Killing Floor on PC. Like everybody I talked to, I'm like, hey, you guys want to play something on PC? Because I like really want to play something on PC, but because everything looks so good and everything's like fluid, 60 frames per second.
Right.
Except for when I tried to play Killing Floor first, I had that's one thing you get to look at. Sometimes they're like set back. You just look at your settings. It's not just plug and play. So it had the resolution on the game set at like my monitor settings, which gave me like 40 frames per second, because even though it's 1080p, like the actual settings of what it can render is normally a lot higher than that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So I put it down to 1080p and then on Killing Floor, and then it was 60 frames per second. So
yeah,
but and all that's in ultra too, like ultra.
Yeah, mine is too. And the only problem with like changing your video settings in Killing Floor is like you change your video settings and the game completely has to restart.
Right. Yeah, that's what happened to me, because I was like, man, this kind of looks bad. And then I realized it was like on normal settings. And so actually what I would think the PS4 version is actually ultra settings for that game. So that's the one thing I'm noticing with PC. I'm not finding the console killer game lately. It seems like PC is in a weird spot. There's no Crisis anymore.
Right.
Like a lot of people on PC play shit like, like RimWorld and stuff,
Well, no, it's like the PC crowd is really into like PUBG and shit like that now.
Right.
So, and it's cool. PUBG really ain't for me. I had at least at least 4 people over the last 2 days asked me about playing Fortnite.
I don't know, man. At Fortnite, I played a little bit with my little cousin. Well, I guess nephew, brother-in-law. I don't know. It's it's weird. He's like he's Aiden's age, but he's a foster kid of Amber's mom. So I guess it would be brother-in-law. That's weird, but so my little cousin, he was playing Fortnite, and I was like, "How's this fun?" Like I pretty much dropped in here and immediately died, and now I can't play. You know,
Right.
But there is a game on Steam. I think it's in my wish list. It's called like Hunted or something. It's sort of like that, but it's more like PvE and PvP all together. But it's not like everybody's in your face because it's like nighttime and you're having to be kind of quiet and stuff and kill the zombies and monsters or whatever is in there. And the video that I saw seemed like it would probably be really cool if you were playing with some buddies, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I can't remember what it's called now. I know it's in it's Hunted something. Like I'm pretty sure that
it'd be all right when it comes out. You'll probably talk about it a little bit more when you actually get a chance to play.
Right. It's out, but it's in early access.
Right.
Which every freaking game on PC is like that now. So
yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with early access. I do have a problem. Like, I'll wait and see if they're working on like really updating the game, because I watched a YouTube video about what really happened with Ark. And I'm glad I didn't jump in with Ark. See, I was into the concept of Ark. And I was like, hey, this seems like something I want to play. And then one of the YouTubers that I follow, he started playing and he kept running into all kinds of problems. And
right.
and then he was playing on a server and it's a persistent world. So when he logs out, everything that he built and stuff was still there. So he would go through this long process of taming some sort of an animal. He go through a long process and you tame a raptor. So before you get off, you go back to your little hut that you made. You make sure that your raptor and stuff is there. You make sure they got enough food, blah, 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 whatever. And then you log out. And then when you come back to the game, everything's fucked up because a Tyrannosaurus that was near basically trampled through your hut and killed all of your dinosaurs. Now you got to start over.
Right. And I don't have the life situation to get into something like that, because when people talk about it, they're like, oh, we have a server and we're all role playing, we're completely different people in the game, we're being these characters that we come up with, and it sounds kind of cool when you really think about it, but now I'm thinking about it, I don't have time to fucking be somebody else because I don't have time to be me as it is.
Right.
But I don't know, because I would be down to playing GTA or something if for private servers, because I don't like the whole thing in GTA, how you can just be trying to do something. You guys would be trying to do some mission and some random people would just roll up and just start shooting all you guys, and you were doing something completely different.
Yeah, the griefing is is bad. At one point, I was getting grief so bad when I played. I had to put myself on pacifist mode or whatever it's called, just so they couldn't kill me, so I can go do something else.
Right.
And they kept coming back to me trying to kill me, and I'm like, bruh, I'm on pacifist. You can clearly see that I'm on pacifist mode. But I want to go do something. I don't want to just stand here in the streets and just fucking blow shit up. I want to kind of do something.
Right. Yeah, because I remember in Red Dead, you can have a private thing, and you guys can, because we used to play the shit out of Red Dead Online, but we would just go and liberate the find the bosses or whatever, and liberate the the bounties and stuff, and we would do that for hours, dude. And we were on private servers or private matches, so people wouldn't be rolling up on us and it's, oh, these guys are doing something, let's fuck up their day.
Right.
But yeah, Have you really played anything else other than that?
No, not really. Like, time is so short, and then this weekend has been so busy trying to, yesterday trying to prepare everything for this birthday party, and today going to the birthday party. I don't feel like I got anything done. Like, the place is a mess. Like, I didn't have, we ain't had time to really, like, do a whole bunch of cleaning or anything like that. Like, shit's just so fucked up right now.
Cool. Well, I can go into something I play. You can see I've already drank. So just get that out of the way right here. But I finished Spec Ops Online.
And did you feel the same way that I felt?
That was a depressing game, is what I can say. And
no, I just felt like the ending made the whole game not worth it.
Well, in a way, it's kind of this whole like twist thing to where like, it's all about like him being fucked up in the head, you know what I mean?
Right.
And they were kind of like following orders, so I'm not really sure why they wouldn't be like, yo,
you tripping, dog. Like, why the fuck are you having us do this? But then again, like, you do see, when the ending happens, you do see that they were arguing about this shit the whole fucking time. It's just he wasn't aware that it was about him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he was so fucked up in the head, he didn't know that they were talking about him.
Right. Because I would have asked you, like, because certain games that I think you would have liked, and yet you kind of hate, and I was wondering why you hated Spec Ops and also why you hated Alan Wake. Like, what's the actual reasons?
Okay, Spec Ops, I don't hate Spec Ops. I just felt like by the time the game ended, the ending makes the whole game not worth it.
Right.
Because basically, it's one of those games where you get to the end of the game and you realize that you're playing a terrible fucking person that's really fucked up in the head. And it's just like, okay, so like, all of the people that you killed died for absolutely nothing. And like, so like, I get what they were trying to do. I very much understand it, but like the idea that not only did no one actually stop you and go, dude, you're fucking crazy right now. Even though they had arguments about it, they were following orders, even though they knew that what they were doing was really fucked up.
Well, is there a thing in the military to where if your commanding officer has actually lost it, that you can actually...
I believe that there's something that you can do. You can relieve him of his command in some way, shape, or form. But even if you do that, like, the idea is, like, I don't know. I just kept tripping because one of the dudes that's with you is a kid from Kid and Play. He's doing the voice of one of those dudes. That's what I just kept thinking about the whole time. Like, that's really Kid from Kid and Play right now. Like, like, and then like by the time you get halfway through the game, it's just a slog and it's just not fun. And then once you get past the white phosphorus, like, you do not want to play the game anymore. Like, everything.
Well, the white phosphorus seemed like, this whole 33rd thing, and I'm not even sure if the 33rd were even bad. Like, they might have been sort of rogue or whatnot, but he was trying to hit them, and then he hit, that wasn't as much of his fault because he didn't know that there was people there.
No. But keep in mind, he just saw people. He didn't see them actually doing anything. All he saw was people, and he said, all right, let's do this. And they were like, do you really think we should be doing this? Yes, let's do this. Like, who didn't... Okay, he was convinced that these people were the bad people.
Right.
But they didn't even check and see if those were the bad people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't even check. They did nothing. And like, so like, when that shit happens, it's on all of them, because one of them should have at the very least just been like, stop this shit. Like, do not do this. Like, do not do this. And somebody should have stopped it at any point they could. Someone could have said, fuck this, and walked away at least. And then like, even if you're in the military or whatever, like, someone asks you like, why the fuck did you desert your post? Because this motherfucker is crazy. Because this motherfucker is crazy, and he almost made us use white phosphorus on regular fucking people.
Right. Because
the
part that got me was the part when all those people wouldn't let you pass. And I actually tried to walk through them, but you couldn't walk through them. I was like, I had to pause the game. I was like, I do not want to do this. I know I'm going to have to shoot down these people, but why do I have to do this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's like you get to the end and you realize that the whole game is no Russian.
Right.
The whole fucking game is no Russian based off of the leader who you are, who is absolutely fucking insane. But basically, you're just mowing down a bunch of good people. And the worst part about it is, like, even at the very end of the game, it's basically insinuated, depending on which ending you choose, like, you can make it worse. Because when they come to get you at the end, you can surrender or you can start fucking shooting. You have a choice.
Right.
Like, you can start shooting more fucking innocent people. And I know we're spoiling Spec Ops The Line, but if you haven't, of course, drink. But, like, if you haven't played Spec Ops The Line, with especially how much EDG talks about it, I know there's a couple of people, like the homie Mr. Matt and stuff like that totally agrees with me, but like, after the white phosphorus, I absolutely did not want to play the game anymore. Like, I did not. And so everything from that point through the ending of that game was just like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this.
I think that's the thing with the game. Like, it's like, it almost kind of trolled people. Like, I think it's to the title when people were like, I thought this was going to be like a Call of Duty clone, but I was so wrong. I think they like called it something generic as fuck, like Spec Ops The Line. Like, it's generic with Spec Ops, but then The Line makes it more generic. And then like the cover is so like Call of Duty and everything about it is just so like generic looking it seems like a THQ, redheaded stepchild of Call of Duty, but then you play it.
It wasn't THQ, it was 2K.
Well, I know, but it's THQ is the redheaded stepchild. It seems like a game.
I get what you're saying.
That they would be making, but like you're like, it's the game that says sometimes video games could be that Schindler's List or whatever, something that's not fun to watch but should be watched kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it's kind of hard to take the fun out of a video game because you're used to having fun while playing a video game. So it's definitely an anomaly.
It's not. I heard you had to pause for that, but it's just it's not a fun game. I play games for fun,
right? Yeah,
like it's not fun at all. And that was my big issue, and that's my big issue with Alan Wake. It's not fun. I know people who love it. It's just not my kind of shit. Like, and that's really the end of like, why didn't you like Alan Wake? It ain't my kind of shit, B. Like, that's really like the beginning and the end of it. It ain't my kind of shit.
Yeah, well, I thought it would be like kind of a single player, kind of shooter type deal. But
nah, that shit, it just didn't work for me. I didn't like it. I didn't like the mechanics. I didn't like, I know that you pretty much got to get to the end before you realize what the fuck's really happening. But like, it's like, I'm going through it and I'm just like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't like this. I don't enjoy this at all. And then like, you got a boss fight against a fucking bulldozer. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, you got a fucking boss fight against a goddamn bulldozer. Like, what kind of fucking shit is this? So
that's what I love, man. Because it's so Alan Wake doesn't seem like a game that would like get batshit crazy like that, but there's some crazy shit in that game, and I have a theory about.
There's some stupid shit in that game. Like, the game is fucking stupid. That's the reason why I didn't fucking like it. And then the part where I quit, there's a part where I got past the fucking bulldozer after a while. I kept dying on the fucking bulldozer, but But there's a part where you basically have to run across this field and shit is just randomly fucking flying at you. And I died so many times just trying to get across that field that I was just like, all right, I think I'm about to fucking quit. And then you get across the field and then realize you got to run back. And I started dying again and I was like, you know what? fuck this, I'm out. And I've never touched that goddamn game since.
Well, I guess you don't know much about the ending, but I had like a little theory.
I know a little bit about the ending, but I mean, if you hadn't played Alan Wake, I'll leave you that one. We spoiled Spec Ops, but you know what? That's a piece of shit game, and it should be spoiled. No one should fucking play Spec Ops ever again. I understand that people like Alan Wake. I even understand why people like Alan Wake. It wasn't a game for me, so I won't spoil it for nobody who hasn't played it. If you think you might enjoy Alan Wake, play that shit. Do not play Spec Ops: The Line. Fucking leave that shit alone.
I think you should play it, but once. Like, I'm probably never going to play it again. That's kind of like, it's that kind of movie. It's like a movie that it's like...
You know what it was for me?
What's that?
It was every Uncharted game except for 2. Every Uncharted game, with the exception of 2, I got to the end and said, you know what? I never have to fucking play that shit ever again. And you know what? I feel that same way about most of the PlayStation exclusives. Most of the PlayStation exclusives, I'm like, alright, cool. I'll never have to do that again. I ain't even fucking finished 4. I think I'm maybe like a quarter into Uncharted 4. And I just fucking stopped. Well, I mean, mostly I stopped because I got fucking fired and then it just completely threw my life off track. But, a few years ago. So, that's mostly the reason why I stopped 4, but I never really felt like maybe I should pick that up. To be honest, I watched a lot of Blue playing the game on a stream. I watched way more of him playing than I ever fucking cared about. I think I got to, have you played Uncharted 4?
Yeah.
I got to the part where you're driving the Jeep around.
Yeah, that's where I stopped kind of before the desert. My shit got.
Yeah, that's as far as I got on Uncharted, and I was just like, you know what? I don't feel like I need to return to this.
Right. I don't think of seeing the games that you're not really into. I don't think PlayStation exclusives really have a lot for you.
They don't. It's not. It's not them. It's me. I guess you could say.
Because they have very cinematic, like, anywhere from 12 to 20 hours single player experiences.
Killzone Shadowfall was a total piece of shit. It's a beautiful piece of shit, but it was a total piece of shit. The more I played that game, the more I kept asking myself, why the fuck do I keep doing this to myself?
Yeah, I haven't played that one.
You should be like Blue and just let me send you mines. Because there's no reason for you to buy that shit.
Well, I have it. It was like $2 on some sale or something, or $2 to $5. It was maybe $5.
It's a beautiful game. It looks amazing. Well, for its time, I haven't seen it recently, but it looks fucking amazing for its time. It plays pretty decent, but the story is just not there. You keep asking yourself, like, why the fuck am I here? What the fuck am I doing? Why the fuck should I care? Like, that's really what I kept asking myself the whole game of playing Killzone Shadowfall. And, I felt the same way about the rest of the Killzone series. I enjoyed 2 and 3 playing the single player on those. The multiplayer is great. Like, the Warzone multiplayer is great. I just wish it was in a better game. I wish you could take that multiplayer thing where it switches the game type mid-game. Like, for like every few minutes, it just completely switches the game type. Like, I wish that was in a better game. Because that is a great mode. Like, it's like being in a multiplayer game and it starts out as deathmatch. Then it switches to a demolition type game, a demolition round type game. Then it switches to like a capture the flag. Then it switched to like a king of the hill. And it does all of that on the fly. And the first team to win 7 of those wins the match.
I wonder why more games don't do like, kind of like hodgepodge, to where a game actually kind of, like a match would have a, what's the word I'm looking for, like a narrative. It's not like a narrative in a loose sense, to where it has kind of a progression, I guess, that really isn't story, but it's...
I guess you can say that there's that mode in Halo 5 that's kind of like that, where it's kind of like a versus horde mode type deal.
Is that the zombie thing?
No, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a mode in Halo that is.
Oh, it's called like War something.
It's kind of similar to Firefight, with the exception of there's another fucking team,
Huh.
and that was cool. Like in the early days before everybody started getting all of those fucking cards and shit, and they could, everybody is rolling around with their own fucking tanks and shit. That ended up not being fun. And then like stuff would happen, like a boss would show up, and like whichever team kills the boss gets more points towards the outcome of it all. I enjoyed that. I just don't enjoy multiplayer. I don't enjoy versus multiplayer. So like wanting to go do the objective, but I got to deal with another fucking team, just really sucked to me. So,
but
yeah.
We went on kind of a tangent there, but it's cool. We finished Spec Ops, and then I went over to I got this Humble Bundle thing because of a certain visual novel that's like a horror game, but it also come with all these other like dating type visual novels and stuff.
Okay.
There's a horror game. It's called Higurashi When They Cry, and there's like 5 parts, and if you bought all 5 parts on Steam, it would be like $40. And the Humble Bundle was like, for all of it, it was like $10. So I was like, sure, I'll get that because I've been kind of interested in that. But I actually haven't played that one. I started one of the other ones. I was just like, okay, I got to see what these are about. So I started one called Go Go Nippon, My First Trip to Japan. And it's actually kind of cool. Like it actually plays more like a you got a week in Japan and you can visit all these places, and these 2 sisters are taking you around. But actually at first you think you met this dude online, he was like going to like bake you like a bread and breakfast type deal. So, and then you find out that it's not a dude, it's actually 2 sisters. So whatever place that you visit is one of the girls is taking you around, and the one that you like spend the most time with, that's the one you end up with basically. But it's actually kind of educational in a way, because you do more of like learning about like different areas in Japan, and it was kind of cool if anybody actually wants to learn about Japan. So so it played less.
Yeah, but that bundle isn't around anymore, right?
No, it's not. But so I played that, and it was like maybe 4 hours, and it's kind of cool. But you have 7 days in Japan, right? So you pick 3 of those days. One is that's already picked for you, and then the last one is already picked for you. So if you want to visit everything, you have to do multiple playthroughs. So I visited Shibuya and that old city like called Roto or something. That's supposed to be like the old capital of Japan or whatever before, when they were like an empire and shit. Okay. And then another area that was like this otaku haven, where all manga and stuff come from. And I learned about how like there's this like dog statue, and basically everyone meets up there because this dog like.
Did you see the place where they have the penis festival?
No, that wasn't in there. Penis festival.
You never heard of this shit?
No.
Somewhere in Japan they have like this penis festival, and it's like they're like celebrating like penis statues and all kinds of shit. No, for real, this shit actually happens.
But yeah, the dog, it would like wait for its owner at the subway or whatever, and then the owner died at work, and then it waited for him every day. It would come, so it was like the most loyal dog ever or whatever. So they made a statue out of him, and then now that's where everybody comes to wait for somebody if they're trying to meet up. So
and the penis festival is coming up soon. I'm not gonna try to pronounce this, but it's Kanamura Matsuri. It is a festival of the steel phallus, is what it translates to. And it is held the first Sunday in April.
So we're doing the Scarcasm road trip? Or road trip?
No, I don't want. I don't want to be around people worshiping penises. Like I'm good. Like like unless they gonna worship mine, I think I'm okay. I think I'm
But
okay.
yeah,
I'm okay with worrying about anybody else's penis.
but yeah, I finished that, and that's pretty cool. It was actually cooler than I thought it would be. But I mean, there's some other ones that sound really freaking, really. There's one called "A Kiss for Petals." Remember how we met, and it's like two lesbians, and the other one's called "If My Heart Had Wings." So yeah, that's the kind of shit that come in there. But I might do them for like a stream or something. Be like, watch this shit. but, but yeah, I also have been playing not really playing as much, more like experimenting with Left 4 Dead 2, like the mods and stuff. Because I had a bunch of mods, like a bunch of silly ass mods, and I pretty much unsubscribed to everything that they had on there. And my main goal was to make Left 4 Dead 2 look amazing. So, and they have a thing now to where people can make mod collections, so you can subscribe to everything. So if they have like a HD texture pack or whatever, so I've been trying to do that. The two main ones I did was Informal Skylines, I think it's called, and that makes the skies look so good. Like it's crazy. Like I played what's the one on the farm, like the Dead Harvest or whatever. Like all the skies is like full of like like you're in the middle of the outback and you're seeing all the freaking stars in the sky. That's what it looks like, and it's crazy how good it looks. But but a couple of them I kept, like the Michael Jackson Hunter. Basically, he just comes up on you. He's like, and it's great, man, because if you hear like in the background, a hunter's around. And I love it. And then another one is like it plays sexual healing whenever you try to heal yourself. That one's great. So just those two I kept in there because they're like audio ones that I love. And then so yeah, I subscribed to not subscribed, but I favorited a bunch of collections that I thought were cool. And so yeah, I thought maybe we could play some Left 4 Dead 2 sometime. And I found some more modded.
Are you playing with a controller?
Actually, I'm playing with mouse and keyboard because I do kind of like Left 4 Dead with mouse and keyboard more than controller.
I haven't used mouse and keyboard in a very, very long time.
Yeah, a good thing to kind of practice at it is playing something like that to where people aren't shooting at you and stuff, or like that you kind of know the game. Because I know that the Fear games are all mouse and keyboard, except I think the third one might have controller support, but the first two definitely don't. And those are the two games that I was like, I love these games, so I'm going to play through these games with mouse and keyboard to I need to learn this. And Valve games they were made with mouse and keyboard in mind, so when I played Left 4 Dead, it just feels a lot better to play with mouse and keyboard. But Left 4 Dead does have controller support.
Yes.
I don't think it's that good, the controller support in Left 4 Dead. But, and of course, Killing Floor. And back to Left 4 Dead, I did subscribe to some more campaigns, like some user campaigns, and some of those are really good. And the one that I really wanted you to play, which was the Back to School one, there's something wrong with it to where they're all conflicting, and I don't know if the dude has just abandoned it, and he might just went to college and don't have time for that shit. But that's really disappointing that one isn't working, because back in the day that was my favorite one, because it turned the shit on its head to where like safe rooms weren't exactly safe rooms, and like it was just really cool how they played with what about Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. So if they ever get that one back to working, that would be cool. But I did find some that I haven't played. So if we play Left 4 Dead, we can play something new that we've never played before.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't really downloaded any. I haven't downloaded any mods for Killing Floor at all. And so I knew that there's a lot of stuff for Left 4 Dead, but I didn't really know where to start, to be honest.
Well, Steam makes it kind of easy, because if you go to certain games, like that, it's not on the workshop. If it's on the workshop, you pretty much go to the workshop, find whatever you want, and you subscribe to it. And if you have one that makes Ellis Tupac and another one that makes Ellis, Master Chief, they're going to conflict. And if they're conflicting, you're just not going to have any mod for Ellis. You just have to turn one of them off. It's just basically subscribe and then clicking it to enable it. So it's so easy on with the workshop because more people that are talented than me make this shit, and all I have to do is just click on it and it works.
Right.
But because real modding, like you're going into your freaking save files and like putting them in folders, but not our workshop. Workshop makes dealing with mods like basically like downloading the free DLC. Like here's a collection. It's called the Division. Like you can subscribe to all this stuff, and it makes pretty much all Division guns and makes them all like characters from the Division, and so you subscribe to all of it. Your whole Left 4 Dead experience is all Division shit. So
You see, one of the cool things is like when you're looking through the mods and stuff like that, you can actually like click on it and see like favorites that your friends have.
Right. Yeah.
Which is cool.
So I'm thinking about making a collection of things that I have liked in the past, and so people can see the ones that I like. Because at first I was just doing whatever batshit shit I can find, And right now, I'm not really into wanting to do making the tank Shrek or whatever, which is hilarious when you're like doing it, because if you make him Shrek, whenever he comes out, it plays freaking Smash Mouth. It's fucking stupid, but now I kind of want to make it legit and like find like texture packs and just make the game look awesome and like because you can make an axe like. The energy short and I have the Mass Effect ones, and they look so good. Like, I don't know how people do it to make it look like it actually comes from the game, unless they just get the game file and just copy it over. But
yeah, I'm looking at I'm looking at some of the Mass Effect stuff right now, and it kind of looks cool because you can have Rex, Tali, Garrus, and Commander Shepard.
Right.
But what it doesn't say, probably until you click on it, is who does it replace? Right.
Yeah, they normally say who to replace, but and there is one that I have in there that will switch you can switch the heroes or whatever, so you can play with like Bill and Lewis in Left 4 Dead 2 maps, or you can play as Ellis or Coach in Left 4 Dead 1 maps. I like that because I do kind of have like a little nostalgia going with the original crew, but so sometimes I like playing the Left 4 Dead 2 maps, but I don't really feel like playing fucking Nick, because that's only who I end up with. Because there's either a girl, well, obviously the one would be the girl, and then, the one dude's going on to be Coach, and then, so I'm like, okay, I'm the white guy from the South, so I guess I'm freaking Ellis or Nick.
Right.
But yeah,
we're running out of time, so have you watched anything interesting? I've only really watched. I'm still catching up with my shows. I have not watched Atlanta. Atlanta is back, but since I'm not really using my Fire Stick, I don't really know how to get Atlanta any other way. So I got to figure that out.
Yeah. Speaking of Atlanta, I actually gave the Big Crit album though listen, and it's kind of growing on me. And I listened to like half of the album, and I was like, man, now I want to just fucking listen to Outkast. So I've been listening to a shitload of Outkast.
Okay, I got another album. I got another album that for you to listen to. It just came out Friday.
Okay.
There's a album by a gentleman named Phonte with a P, Phonte. And it is. How did you feel? You're not a Jay-Z fan, right?
I am a Jay-Z.
How did you feel about 444?
I'm a Jay-Z fan, but I haven't really listened to anything since the Black album.
Oh my god! So that means you missed American Gangster?
Yes.
American Gangster is fucking fantastic. What are you doing? But Fonte's album, No News is Good News, just came out on Friday, and it's a very grown-up it's a very like grown up, and like his view, you can tell like from his albums, his views on the world has changed a lot. I think the last album he was going through like how you feel about life after a divorce and all of that other stuff. So like a lot of that is there. But No News is Good News is a relatively short album. Also, it's only like 33 minutes.
Right.
And like, okay, this like Fonte is extremely good at just rapping, and he doesn't do like no. It's not the beats are hard, and they kind of have a little bit of trap sounds in it, but it's not trap music. He is from the South, but he does not rap like a Southerner. Like he like really can do this, and he does this like really well. Like Fonte is one of those people that was born to do this. And he's from North Carolina.
Cool.
I believe he's from Greensboro.
Oh, nice. Yeah. When it comes to me and hip hop, I wasn't really like to where I know a lot about the more. I mean, there are some underground artists, I guess, but like every artist that come out and they're like, but I do dig like the '90s sound. I do dig like the early 2000s, since that's kind of when I was in high school. So I was around, when product just come out.
I got an album for you. Because before Fonte went solo, before the group broke up, he was in a group called Little Brother. And listen to their show. It's called The Minstrel Show. Is the album where I was really introduced to them. Like they had other stuff called The Listening and stuff like that before. But listen to The Minstrel Show and let me know how you like it. And look, at the beginning of the album, Chris Hardwick actually is the host of the fictional TV show that the album is based off of.
That's random.
Yeah. It's actually Chris Hardwick.
Nice.
But I would say I would say listen to that first. Listen to the Minstrel Show first. And then when you're ready for some other stuff, like I said, I know your apprehension to the Big Crit thing was that you weren't really into Southern hip hop. And it's not a callback to the 90s shit that you like. It's very very outcasty.
Yeah, because I liked Outkast, but when I listened to it more, I was thinking maybe I just wasn't in the mood because I said that I don't really like aggressive hip hop. I was like, I fucking like Wu-Tang Clan. They're aggressive as fuck. So maybe I just wasn't in the mood.
Cream came on the radio today while I was on my way back home, and I realized I don't know all of the words to Cream anymore. That made me sad. That made me really sad.
Nice, but it's true.
It made me so sad. Like I was okay, I know that word, and I would say that word and stuff like that, and just kind of mumbling through the rest of it. It sucked.
It's kind of like the Wayne's World. You know the part when they're like doing the Queen thing, and and the camera pans over to Garth, and he's just kind of like, because it kind of looked like he didn't know the words, but like. Freaking dude actually didn't know the words, and he was actually like kind of mumbling on to it, but they kept it because that seemed like what Garth would do anyway. Because I mean, there's all these songs where we're like, oh, we know the chorus, but then we're mumbling on to everything else.
Yes,
and then I'm like,
I realized by playing Rock Band how many the few songs in Rock Band that I did know, I realized I didn't really know the words.
Right.
Like, seriously, I really didn't know the words. But, like, real quick, you got to go through what you've been watching because we got to get out of here.
Cool. Yeah, I haven't been really watching too much, man. We had watched the Black Panther in the theater, and that was really good. Like, I don't know what these dudes, like, another time, I'm, like, fucking siding with the critics to where I'm like, people are like users over critics, and time and time again, I'm like, it's really critics over users. You guys are freaking tripping. You guys are just fanboys that just don't know what you're fucking talking about because you guys don't know how to be freaking like take a seat back.
But a lot of people had tried to tank the score because they thought it had anything to do with the Black Panthers, which was a completely different situation. Which there was only one real connection to the Black Panthers, and that's the beginning of the movie is set in Oakland, where the Black Panthers came from. That's the only real connection to the Black Panthers at all.
Right, but I really like the movie. I don't go to the theater much, so I probably wouldn't see it in the theater again because I don't see many things in theater. But I would definitely probably own it because I want to really go through the cinematic universe like in order. There has to be like an actual kind of like how they do the Star Wars thing, like a good order to watch them in. Because there's a lot of the Captain America movies I haven't seen.
There is an order of how to watch the whole MCU, but it includes the TV shows, including the Peggy Carter or the Agent Carter shit that got canceled. And then like there's also like one shots that are only on the DVDs and the Blu-rays. Like they're you can't really get them anywhere else, but like it adds a little bit of extra. And then of course for the Hulk, there is a deleted scene where it was explained. I don't know if it's actually on the Blu-ray or whatever, but there was a deleted scene where Banner goes to like I will just say the North Pole. He goes to the North Pole to try to kill himself, and he goes to the North Pole to try to kill himself. He pulls out the gun. He tries to shoot himself, and the Hulk won't let him. So he hulks out, and then the Hulk just starts tearing up shit in the North Pole. And what he did dislodged Captain America from the ice, and that's how they found Captain America.
Huh.
And so it's not included in the actual movie as you're watching it, but there is a deleted scene that was going to be in the movie where at the very end, where that happened.
Yeah, but they deleted it because of, suicide and stuff.
I do not know, but remember, he didn't actually commit suicide.
Right, but it dealt with suicide, so they might not have, it's Marvel, kids, and it might have been too heavy or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, supposedly that exists, and then there's some stuff like after the Iron Man movies, with dealing with like the Mandarin and all that other stuff in deleted scenes where it all counts. Like you can find, like I said, you can find this list. I've found it in several different places where if you find a list where it puts everything in chronological order, not in the order that they came out with, then like, and they do it basically it's based off of where most of the movie happens.
Cool.
So yeah, there's an order, and then they tell you, okay, so now you have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Episodes 1 through 7, because when you start episode 8, it's after Thor. Like shit like that.
Right.
But that just makes it like really fucking crazy,
complicated.
Because it makes it really fucking complicated, and just like, okay. And then like when they start adding in the one shots and stuff like that, it's just kind of like, okay, I don't think I really want to do this.
It's kind of like when you're trying to watch Buffy and Angel at the same time, but you want everything to mash up, like when she calls
I totally did that. I found a Buffy and Angel list. I found a watch order for Buffy and Angel, and I totally followed that watch order when I watched it again the last time I did with my girlfriend. Like, we totally did follow that list.
Cool. Because the only one I really know that, but I didn't do the watch order, but I know about, like, when he calls her and he don't say anything, but then there's a scene to where she picks up in Buffy, and then she's like, oh, it must have been a wrong number or whatever, but that was totally him from the other show.
Yeah, shit like that. So
yeah.
Yeah, and then it's weird because watching The Flash on its own again with my girlfriend is weird, because every time they cross over with like Arrow or something like that, it's always like there's a bunch of stuff that if you don't watch Arrow that you have no idea. It also spoils a whole lot if you're not watching both shows, because
Right.
like they have the crossover, and then like you're finding out like stuff that's like big deals for. If you watch Arrow, like it's a big fucking deal. Like when certain characters take on certain other roles and stuff like that. Then when, they cross over with the Flash, and it's known at that point. But if you don't watch the show, you're just like, okay, what the fuck's happening here? And then like, it kind of spoils it for if you're actually watching the show, because if you're actually watching the show, then if you actually plan on going back and watching Arrow, like if you started with the Flash, like how my girlfriend did, like if she goes back to watch Arrow, like a lot of the tension is gone because she knows what the answers are.
Right.
I don't know how we're on season 3 now. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to approach the crossover, because the crossover was I wouldn't say that it was all 4 shows, but because the Supergirl part of the crossover, it was basically like at the very end, like there is a normal Supergirl episode, and at the very end, Cisco and Barry come to her Earth and say, "Hey, we need your help." And then not even to mention all of the Legends of Tomorrow stuff that at this point already started, but we're not watching those right now. So it's all just kind of really fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to wrap this up.
Cool.
Anything you want to say to the people?
Yeah. I think that's a absolutely yes from Scarfinger and Mike J. So we're gonna be playing some Magic.
That is not an absolutely yes. That is a maybe I'll try it. There's no guarantees on nothing.
AKA, I'll do it for the people.
AKA, fuck the people. I don't want to be stuck with a game. I'm not gonna put a whole bunch of time in a game I know I don't want to play.
But you could board wipe me. You know you want to do that. But yeah, Amber's over there playing some Mass Effect. So Mass Effect.
I want to play again, but I know I have so much other stuff to play. But I'm spending most of my time, when I have time, playing Killing Floor. So I can't wait till there's a sale on Xbox so I can buy it on Xbox also.
Yeah, that's why I got it on PC, because my PS4 is actually doing a blue thing, but my PS4 is in my son's room right now. So I don't know.
All right. I'm super into fluid painting right now, and I did start posting some pictures of what I was working on my Instagram, so you can holler at your boy on Instagram to see what I'm into. I started posting like my more recent ones that I'm doing, not really like some of my old stuff. I'll post some of my old stuff eventually, but yeah, man, I'm super into fluid painting, and it's a whole lot of fun, and it doesn't really require you to be that creative or that skilled.
Right. I thought the stuff that you posted was pretty cool.
Right.
See, she said, I'm not streaming.
Yeah, I'm be on camera.
She said that she wasn't going to like be the way she was last time. But
you mean she wasn't gonna? You mean she wasn't gonna ruin the show again?
Well, she didn't ruin the show. She accentuated the show.
Yeah, you have to say that. I don't. You have to say that. But no, it wasn't so bad. I got a kick out of it. You were really distracted, and that made it funny for me.
Yeah, because I was like, I know I can't hear you. He can hear you, but I can hear you.
So, but yeah, man. So this has been Scarcasm. I have an idea for a new logo, but I have no idea who the fuck can pull this off. And I gotta figure out. I may have to go to Fiverr or somewhere like that and have somebody do it. I mean, it's called Fiverr, but let's be honest, you're gonna spend more than $5. But in order to get what the fuck you're looking for. So I have an idea for a new logo, but I gotta figure out how to pull this off. So, until we actually get that done, for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger, this is Scarcasm, and we're out of here. Peace out to the Warriors.
Later.
I like that shit. Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.